So the marketing world is fascinated and obsessed with those sexy metrics like lead generation, how many people are coming through your self-liquidating offer. But the truth is there's very little profit to be made by focusing only on that. And if you saw my last video, then I broke that down in detail. The real profit is in getting those people to buy again. Self-liquidating offers are to bring people into your business. The real profit is then made on how you interact with those people on the next step. So most coaches, consultants, agencies, creators, they're so excited to get daily sales through their self-liquidating offer, but then they stall out and they realize this isn't really going to provide life for me. So today, I'm going to show you how to turn $1 product buyers or self-liquidating offer buyers into high-ticket clients without being pushy in a very short timeline so that you can install this in your business and start making much better profit per customer. Let's get into it. Okay, so this is the system that we use when we're working with people to basically create a profit engine for their business. And we're going to be turning customers into clients very quickly. And when I say very quickly, we've seen this happen as quickly as like 2 to 3 days. A lot of the time, most people will be working on a 7 to 14 day timeline to get the really hot leads into their business. But it's what we usually aim for is under 30 days. So we're going to be running through exactly how to do this. Okay. And when I say here customers into clients, a quick note on the difference here. Customers come in, they buy something from you once, they buy that course, they buy that book, they buy that workshop. That's a customer. It's a single payment. A client is somebody who's going to come back and pay you again and again. That could be that they are a repeat purchaser, that they come back and buy the next workshop, the next book, the next course, or that they hire you for a service, or they come in and they buy your high ticket course, or they come into your community. That's a client. So we're going to be moving people from one-off payments to multiple, their second payment or high ticket payments, or a combination of both. Okay. What we're essentially doing is we're taking the focus away from those front end metrics that are so important for scaling, which is average order value. And then we're moving this towards lifetime value. Okay. So the average order value with your ads, and I went through this in prior videos, where let's say that you're paying $30 cost per acquisition. That's how much you're paying to get a customer into your business. You want to be making at least $30 average order value, break even here. So you want $30 plus there. Average order value on that initial purchase is simply to offset the cost per acquisition so that you can invest more money into advertising without having to worry about going broke. But if you're making, say, $10 profit per customer, the level of scale that you would have to hit with your business to be very profitable and to run the business that you want is insane. Most people are never going to get there. So what we now want to do is we want to shift the focus. We've got this working. We've got people coming into the business. We've got good average order value, offsetting that CPA. We then want to focus on lifetime value, getting those people to go from an average order value, a lifetime value that it would be if you left it there of, say, $30 all the way. We want to be $30 plus over the lifetime. Ideally, you want to be selling them something high ticket to really recoup those costs and enable massive scale. This can be done very quickly, but you have to know what you're doing. And there's two primary secrets to getting this to work well. And I'm going to run you through both of them and basically map out what this kind of funnel looks like. Once you've got somebody on the front end, this is what the back end funnel looks like to massively increase lifetime value. All right. So the two basic rules that you need to understand are the 7-11-4 rule and objection removal. If you can nail these two things with the system I'm about to outline, you will be able to have a much better back-end system that works automatically to convince $1 product buyers or self-liquidating offer buyers to then buy whatever your high ticket offer is. A $25K consulting agreement for the year, a $2,000 course, a $100, $500 a month membership community, whatever. This is how you get those people to feel like that is a logical, not risky purchase on the next level without being pushy, without scamming them, all of this stuff. Okay, so let's get into this. First of all, 7-11-4 rule. I think it was Google who did the study on this. And basically what they said is that the 7-11-4 rule is what they have studied and found that people need to feel comfortable buying or spending lots of money. So spending for the high ticket offer. And it's really simple. For somebody to feel comfortable to send you, and I'm just going to put the 2K plus on this for the minimum sort of high ticket offer cost, they need to have 7 hours of interaction with you across 11 touch points in 4 locations, and locations can be channels for digital marketing's sake. So 7 hours of interaction with you across 11 touch points across 4 different channels. Now you might be looking at that thinking, that's ridiculous. I'm not going to be able to have 7 hours of interaction with everybody before they're able to buy. I'll never make a profit. The amount of time that I'd have to sink into it, don't worry about it. It's quite simple to automate all of this with digital marketing. And these are, in my experience, rough guidelines. But the general rule of this stays the same, right? Yes, the numbers might be less, they might be more depending on you, your audience, all of this stuff. You need to spend time with people. You need to have multiple touch points. It's not like we'll sit down together for 7 hours and get it done in one. It doesn't work that way. It needs to be across multiple different touch points across a longer sales cycle, and it needs to be across different channels. I've seen people do it in 3 hours and 7 touch points across 2 channels and all of this stuff. But general guidelines, you need to spread this out. But don't worry, you don't need to hit these numbers and think, oh my God, how am I going to engineer this? A lot of this is already done for you. Now, if you're watching this video, you've probably already got marketing going, and you've already got some sort of self-liquidating offer or lead generation system up in place. And that's taken care of some of the stuff for you. So, we're trying to move somebody from being a stranger to a high ticket client. Your initial marketing to get somebody into your funnel. So that might be social posts. It might be ads. It might be cold outreach. All of this is a touch point, and it's somebody interacting with your business. So it's already eating into these 7 hours and these 11 touch points and the channels, right? So the marketing will get you from here to here. Once they've come in and they've bought, let's say, your $1 product, that will then be more touch points. Because think about this as the $1 product, right? You've got the sales page. You've got the onboarding that they'll be going through to get, how do I use this thing? You've got the actual offer itself. If this is a video offer with 4 hours of video, that's 4 hours of interaction with you. All of this will then take them from there to there. So you're not trying to hit with this ascension. You're not trying to hit all of these numbers, the 7, 11, the 4, because a lot of it's already taken care of that for you. But you still need to then move somebody from here to here. What I have found is that moving somebody from here when they're already a paying customer to here is a hell of a lot easier than getting somebody who will never pay you even to here, let alone all the way over here. But basically, a lot of these 7, 11, 4 numbers are already done for you by the initial marketing and the initial offer that you've given them, whether that's a free lead magnet, or if you're like me and you understand that to scale, you need to be getting paid the $1 product offer. Now, the real good thing about this and why I prefer $1 products is because once somebody has come into your paid funnel, you control that relationship and you can control the consumption of your content and those touch points a little more than you can when you're just doing marketing. At this stage where it's just marketing, where you're running ads, you're doing social, whatever it might be, you're relying on, if you're running meta ads, the Facebook algorithm, the Facebook AI, how it targets people, you're relying on that. A lot of it's out of your control. If you're doing organic content, a lot of that is out of your control because, say, LinkedIn's algorithm might not show you to the right people. So this is really hard, this first bit here. After that, you can more closely control that relationship and how they consume your content and whether or not you're going to hit those 7, 11, 4, okay? Because you can then, you've got their email address, you know that they're going in the course, you can then send them emails, direct them to other things, much, much easier once you've got past this point. The basic system that I like to build with people to help them hit those basic kind of milestones, touch points, whatever you want to call them, is this. So we have your marketing, and this is the stuff that's out of your control, really. They come through, they buy a $1 product. We have this set up in a way where the average order value is equal to or greater than the cost per acquisition. That way you can continue to scale and bring more people in. And because they're paying you, they're high intent leads. In the last video, I'd said it as in, I think it was 3K ad spend, you'd make 4.5K, and that would leave you with 75 customers, and you'd be looking for 5 to 10% of those 75. So it'd be a minimum of 3 people to turn into a high ticket offer. And this is how you do it. So once they buy that, you want to keep going by those sort of touch points and that consumption of content so that they're interacting with your business across the channels. We already have at least one channel here, a second channel here, and then the onboarding will be the emails and things that say, hey, here's how to get the most value out of that $1 product you've bought. That increases that consumption, it increases the touch points, and it gets them to know, like, and trust you more. Once they've started to get results here with the $1 product that you've sold them, they're basically like, well, this person's really good. They've helped me get some kind of a result. I like them. I know them. I now trust them because they help me. And then we move them into the proper ascension sequence. And the simplest way that I do this is you have some sort of deep content. And this is info, and entertain could be, and it's educational. Basically, it's built around the primary problems that your audience is having. The basic way I like to do this is problem solution based. So problem solution, I think of the Eugene Schwartz 5 stages of awareness. We run people through that with these. But because you can control this, you can then send them 1 email, 2 email, 3 emails to direct them to this deep content, which introduces the next problem, then the next solution, and that builds towards the high ticket offer. More on that in a second. And essentially, this is what the back end is. It is just you drip feeding them more information to show that you understand them, you know that the problems that they face, and that you have the solution that they need in their business. Very simple. Across all of this now. So we've got 1, 2, 3. 4th touch point, we've hit it. 5th, there we go. Easy, right? And these deep contents, they can be anything. They can be videos, they can be blog posts, they can be just emails. Actually, you can just do this within the emails up here yourself. They can be anything, and they can be on different channels and all of this, because you can direct them to a LinkedIn post, you can direct them to a YouTube video, you can direct them to something on your website, you can direct them to something just within the email itself. There's a lot of difference here that you can build, but essentially all that you're trying to do is have a new touch point, a new piece of content that offers more value, stops them forgetting who you are, and helps them understand that you're actually there, able and trying to help them. And so there's still a lack of clarity here though, right? How does this actually work? So the next thing, we go on to the second rule, right? This will solve the 7, 11, 4. It will solve that. The next thing that we want to do is actually run people through the kind of objection removal. What I've found is that a lot of people will just continue to sell, and they'll build systems like this. Like they'll have an email. It's, hey, you bought my $1 product. Why don't you buy this too? Here's a video about it. And that will direct through to a VSL or some kind of sales mechanism, which is just saying, hey, buy now. And that directs through to the checkout, which says buy now. The thing that few people seem to get right, and I don't know why people have never thought of this, if I say to you, hey, why don't you buy this now? And you say, no, thanks. Are you going to change your mind if I come up to you tomorrow and I say, why don't you buy this now? They're going to still say, no, I don't want to. Because what we've not done is we've not really addressed the reason why they don't want to buy. And so these ascension sequences, you have to understand that there are many different reasons why people within your audience are not going to buy. And the job of this is to remove those objections and to show them that this is not a risky proposition, that this is the best next step for them, and that you're able to facilitate them getting the transformation that they want, okay? We have to understand that people don't buy, or they don't buy for different reasons, okay? Some people are price sensitive. And what that means is they'll be like, oh, it's a lot of money. Can I spend that kind of money? So you need to figure out a way to basically make them understand that this is not a lot of money. This is a safe bet for them. Some of them are skeptical about the actual offer. Will it work? Does it work for other people? Will it work for me? There's lots of different reasons where they would question whether or not this thing will actually work for them. Some people, and this is me, are process driven. I want to know how it works. I want to know the ABCs. I want to know all of this, because then I can, in my head, understand the system behind things. I'm a systems person. Other people are time sensitive. They want to know how much time it's going to take for them to implement this, or how much time it's going to take for them to see results and get a return on whatever it is that they've paid you. Okay, so you have to understand, people are looking at your offer all through these different lenses. Some people are just ready to buy. They don't need anything. You say, hey, here's this other thing, and they're like, ready, let's go. Others will be price sensitive, and they'll need that kind of addressed before they feel comfortable buying from you. Now, generally, a lot of people, they're over here, and this is the point where they're ready to buy. They won't have just one. Some people will be price sensitive and process driven. They're like, it's a lot of money. I'm not sure if I can swing it. But actually, how does it work? I need to know how it works before I can actually understand whether or not this is a worthwhile investment and whether I can swing that price. So what you have to do is you have to remove these various blocks along that journey sequentially. And you're never going to know, John Smith just bought $1 product today. John Smith is definitely price sensitive. You're never going to know that. There's no way to know with that level of detail. So you have to basically build a sequence that sequentially removes all of those hesitations that people have, so that they then feel comfortable buying. Some people will just need this one removed. Some people will need this one and this one. Some people will need all of them removed. Some people won't need any of them removed. They'll just be ready. But if we add that into the system, it then looks something like this. So you have your marketing, 1 touch point, 2 touch point, 3 touch point, 4 touch point, and we still have our deep content, 5 touch point. And basically what we do here is you have your marketing, they come in, they buy your $1 product, you've covered your ad spend because the average order value is better than the CPA, you onboard them, they start to see the value here, you've built up maybe 3 hours at this point of cumulative time with you or whatever, or 4 hours. Then you go through the emails. And again, these are all just adding new touch points, new channels, more consumption time with your brand, more interaction time. And then the emails and the deep content are built specifically to remove hesitations. So rather than just a deep content, let's say up here, your $1 product is something, let's go with something very basic that everyone's been marketed to, how to lose 20 pounds. A lot of people, health is a huge market. How to lose 20 pounds, great. And then the primary offer that you're trying to push, the high ticket offer, is one-to-one coaching. And so this email here, let's say that this yellow one here is proof. People want to know, will it work for them, because they're skeptical. They are skeptics. So they need proof. So the first thing was like, hey, I want to tell you, I had this great story, recently helped John Smith over here drop not 20 pounds, but 25 pounds in record time through a system that we've built. I've put a video together where John's walking us through exactly how his journey worked, right? And so then basically people are like, oh, wait, so it does work. Let me see how this actually works. Let me see how John got these results. Goes through, boom. You've removed that objection. Well done. The next one, you might have it, and it's, I think I did price sensitive before, but maybe this is the systems one. People are asking, how did John get such great results? This is the email. I've put a video together explaining the exact system that I use with my one-to-one clients. That's the deep content, runs them through it. Now with all of these, you just build this as a sequence that people run through. Some people will buy here, some people will buy here, some people will buy here, most people will never buy, but that's okay. What these all drive through to then is your sales mechanism. Now that sales mechanism, depending on the offer, depending on the audience, can be anything from a text sales letter, so a sales page that's written, a video sales letter, like a video, that can be a sales call, hey, book a free consultation type thing, all of this. And then that's what leads down to you actually making money. When you understand your audience and you've dialed all of this in to have this kind of system, you only really then need to tweak 2 areas. You need to keep an eye on this to make sure that these are converting people as they should be. And then you just need to make sure that this up here is the ads, or however you're attracting people are working, and this is converting enough people so that this is covering it. What you're then going to do is basically have this driving so many qualified leads at your business for effectively free, because you're covering all of that spend here. The onboarding is starting to build more trust, get them to like you, and then you're segueing into the promotion for the high ticket offer in a way that removes objections, hits that 7-11-4 rule, and by the end of it, people who would be likely to buy have got no reason to not buy. So basically, there's no reason at the end of this that somebody would be like, I don't know, man. They have all of the information. And then if they want it, they've got all of the information, all of their questions have been answered, all of those objections have been removed. So all that's left is to say yes or no to buying. And that's basically what this kind of system is, and how you build this to take low ticket customers to high ticket clients on autopilot without having to be really pushy or scammy or any of these kind of things. Now you can supercharge this in a couple of other ways, but that's a video for another day. If you have any questions, let me know. But essentially, you need to understand that when you get a buyer in from a low ticket offer, that's great. But that person is primed to spend more money with you. What's stopping them from spending money with you is that they don't really know you well enough. So hit 7-11-4 rules. The second thing is that there's lots of reasons that they're going to have to not buy. So you need to remove those objections so that they have all of the information to make an informed decision. If the product is right for them, they should be then ready to buy. Like I said, any questions, let me know. But otherwise, I'll see you in the next one.